It's been a total bloodbath in crypto land, with Bitcoin with the plunge accelerating, dropping $1,000 in less than a day. It is now falling back towards 6,000. Bob Pisani is over at the NYSE to break down what is behind this crypto chaos. Bob.
And they're looking, Melissa, for some good news. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies continue to drop, going from 7,300 to roughly 6,900 yesterday, before dropping another $500 to 6,400. That was in late night trading when the Asian markets opened. Now, there hasn't been much good news for Bitcoin in a while, frankly. Bitcoin bulls have been pinning their hopes for a rally this year on two developments. First, that an institutional investor like Goldman would come into the space to drive additional demand. And second, that a Bitcoin ETF might be approved by the SEC. Neither of those have happened yet, and the lack of those catalysts will likely make it difficult for Bitcoin to move significantly, at least in the short term. Because there is no services or products offered, demand depends on increasing the number of Bitcoin holders and the number of transactions. But that's not happening to any appreciable extent. Now, the technical picture is horrible as well. Since the end of last year, Bitcoin has seen a series of lower highs, even as it had roughly held the 6,000 level as the lows for the year. Even a Business Insider report that Coinbase has approached BlackRock for help getting a crypto ETF off the ground really didn't move Bitcoin up at all. Business Insider, citing sources, said Coinbase has held conversations with people at BlackRock's blockchain working group. But that's a long way from any kind of partnership. BlackRock has expressed zero interest in getting into the Bitcoin business in the past. There's no indication they've changed their position. Hey, by the way, Melissa, Goldman may be fudging on whether they're or not getting into Bitcoin. At a TechCrunch conference, Goldman's CFO described the recent reports that Goldman was shelving plans to launch a crypto trading desk as, quote, fake news, though he didn't elaborate on exactly what he meant by that. Try to get that a little clearer. Back to you, Melissa.
All right, Bob. Thanks, Bob Pisani at the NYSE. And specifically, just to follow up on those comments from the Goldman Sachs CFO, he said when we talked about exploring digital assets, that it was going to be an exploration that would be evolving over time. So he seems to indicate that there was never a time frame. And so shelving it would be too strong language in terms of what they have said in the past about exploring whether or not to have this desk. At this point, though, where are we in this?
I mean, I think, you know, you look at the news flow in the space. News flow has not been great, and there needs to be a catalyst to get it going again. And remember as well, the same investors, I mean, that are investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are also investing in cannabis. And right now, cannabis is on fire. So you look at cannabis names and the amount of money that's rolled into that space or flown into that space. You know, look at a Tilray. I mean, Tilray went from $17 when an IPO to $95 yesterday, pulled back a little bit. I mean, that is all a lot of retail flow, tremendous amount of retail flow. And again, it's the same type of investor that's investing in cryptocurrencies. So I think once the catalyst happens, once something from a story narrative changes within crypto, I could see money going right back in and taking these names up, or Bitcoin in particular.
I mean, if you overlay the charts, it's tempting to make that assumption that the money is flowing out of one thing and going into another.
It needs to be a catalyst.
Although I think you actually have a decent amount of institutional interest in the cannabis space, and ultimately in Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, there's really nothing institutions can do here until there's a custody solution. Right. So I hear what you're saying, David, and there's no question that in terms of the people that are focused and in terms of emerging asset classes, absolutely. But I think, first of all, the $6,000 level on Bitcoin, massive, right? This is the level we keep coming back to. And you can make an argument that this has been the base and that maybe technicals are holding up. But I think, really what's happened here is I just think that we got to this place where, first of all, the concept and the existential reason for blockchain makes a ton of sense. The practical usage right now for people outside of speculation just hasn't been there. And without the ability to get institutions in there, you go dead.